One family, one people, one planet, one love. One family, one people, one planet, one love.
Good morning and welcome to SoulCall Sunday. My name is Lisa Ferrero. I'm the founder and spiritual director of SoulCall. And wherever you are on the planet, we welcome you this morning from a very chilly Columbus, Ohio is where I am. Wherever you are in the world, I hope it's a little warmer than where I am, although I'm inside safe and warm. That's always nice. But it's these crispy mornings sometimes that are just so invigorating, invigorating in a way that makes us really feel alive and connected and tapped in. And that's what we're going to talk about this morning. We're going to talk about staying tapped in. And the topic this morning is PUSH. And it's an acronym for pray until something happens. And we're going to break that down a little bit, and we maybe reorient you to the notion of what that means or how we can reconfigure it in our brains to allow for more of an experience of this connectedness, that invigorating spirit that it runs through us, as us, around us. It's everywhere present, and it's hard to escape us. And part of what we do in the mornings when we start our Soul Call Sunday is we invite a Qigong master, a master of the life force energy in the body and outside of the body, and so that we can experience what it feels like to work consciously as an awakened human and participate with that energy in ourselves, in our bodies, and outside, so that we begin to feel that we are part of this breathing, living organism, not just the planet, but everything around it that sustains life as we know it as human beings. That's a mouthful. Much easier to practice it in the silence. And we're going to invite Deborah Weisenberger-Lippitz. So wherever you are, allow yourself to be present with this Qigong practice and practice bringing in and participating with the energy of life force, the Qi.
We are continuing to move and work our way up the spine. So today we are opening Yujin, directly across from Yingtang, at the base of the occipital bone. Yujin means jade pillow. It's very cool and calming for the mind, the nervous system, and blood pressure. We're going to open that up. Okay, please look forward with the eyes open, stretching the vision from the mind's consciousness inside, out through Yingtang, to merge with infinite space, gather all the healing qi, love, good information, and pull it back, gently contracting inside the mind's home. Now very gently close the eyes. With the eyes closed, it's very easy to feel the mind shining brightly inwardly. From there, place your attention to the top of the head, Ba Hui, and open up, expanding upward to infinite space, gathering all the healing qi, love, and pouring it down through Ba Hui to the mind's home. And from there, throughout all the layers and tissues of the body, all the way down to the bubbling spring of each foot. Now open up Yongshen to merge with Earth Qi, then all the way through to infinite space. Gather all the healing Qi, love, good information, and pull it up through the earth into the body, connecting us from above and grounding us from below. We become the qi in between and a part of all things, connecting us all, heart to heart and mind to mind, and also connecting us with nature. Now please, allow the right hand to float upward in front of the navel. Place the mind's consciousness inside Yujin, the occipital bone to the back, the jade pillow. Then slowly create circles. Hand is moving in front of the navel. The mind's consciousness is moving the chi upward into Yujin. The base of the occipital bone, the jade pillow. Circling, spiraling chi inside, opening Yujin. Now, circles become smaller, smaller, now very tiny inside Yujin. Then stop, allowing the chi to move deeper inside Yujin, completely opening. Then slowly turn the right palm inward, left palm on top of right, placing the centers of the palms on the navel, nourishing chi. Then relax the hands to both sides, gently open the eyes, and give thanks, knowing that you can continue to circle and spiral for as long as it feels right to you. Thank you.
Breathing in, feeling that breath of light, of life, and exhale. Maybe mentally chant inward, I am one with the infinite. I am the little I, which has become the infinite source of love, the infinite source of life. My life is a prayer. I am thine. Staying in this place of beautiful stillness, allow this relaxation to just roll through you as we listen to a wonderful song by Heaton.
That felt so good. I'm going to take these off. Thank you. Drama's like a drug. On it, it's hard to see. Anxiety looks for its reason. For a moment of relief or righteousness, thoughts judging thoughts, judging thoughts. I pledge allegiance to my heart. I pledge allegiance to my heart. I pledge allegiance to my heart and to yours. Stirring the pot of all the unhealed parts, suffering and fear. On a pendulum we're caught in a virus of thoughts, judging thoughts, judging thoughts. I pledge allegiance to my heart. I pledge allegiance to my heart. I pledge allegiance to my heart and to yours. Love is rising. Love is rising up. have faith in you. I have faith in you. I have faith in you. I have faith in you. Neighbor, 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 neighbor. Stranger, 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 stranger. Neighbor, 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 neighbor. Stranger, 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 stranger. I pledge allegiance to my heart. I pledge allegiance to my heart. I pledge allegiance to my heart and to yours. Love is rising up.
I pledge allegiance to my heart. Thank you, Anne. What a beautiful song. And the energy of that was just so lovely. Can you feel that? Pledge allegiance to my heart. And wow, stranger, stranger, neighbor, neighbor. It's really a beautiful setup for the talk today. That was so gorgeous. And the topic this morning is push. And it's pray until something happens. You know, I like watching old movies, some funny movies. You know, last week I think we talked about the Straight Lady and the Marx Brothers movies and the Three Stooges. Sometimes that kind of humor is fun. I don't know, depends on the mood you're in. But when the straight lady comes in and says, "What is the meaning of this?" Or the other one would be when somebody comes in and says, "Don't just stand there, do something." And then usually some kind of a impulsive mayhem ensues when we're not really present with do something, anything. Pray until something happens is kind of just the opposite of that. It's bringing ourselves into divine alignment. Pray until something happens. I know it's often been said by other teachers that prayer pushes until vision pulls. And I'm not necessarily challenge that. I love the idea of that. But pray until something happens. There's this way. I pledge allegiance to my heart is a perfect anthem to set us up for a new practice of push, which is more about praying until something happens. It's more of a receptive energy that pulls a vision toward us. When we push a vision out, the tendency would be to push from within something that's already been pre-described in our thoughts based on the limited experience we have in the consciousness of this human existence. What do I mean by that? Last week we talked a little bit about how much information comes in through the senses. And whatever is filtered up to the prefrontal cortex region of our brain only processes 72 bytes of information compared to the 12 million bytes of information that come into the brain. So the rest of it, to make sense of it, the brain will fill in based on the experiences we've had to date, right? So if we take that a step further and we say push, pray until something happens, what I mean by not pushing a vision out because we limit ourselves by the experience, if you pledge allegiance to your heart and we allow ourselves to pull in from the magnetic force of our heart, pull the vision toward us without thinking about what it is, but paying more attention to our feeling nature, our nature of intuition. So I think of it like this: pray and prayer. What is prayer anyway? Some people say prayer is when we talk to God and meditation is when we listen. Okay, that implies a separateness of sorts. We're praying to something. And in order to pray to something, there's got to be, even if it's a shred of a belief, that the thing we're praying to is out there, or even if it's in here, it's not a simultaneous experience. And so that's where the trick is. What if the reality is, just to try it on, that we are that which is being prayed? We create the prayer, but we are the prayer. What if you are the prayer and the prayer, and that which is materialized as the materialization of prayer realized or vision pulled in. What if it blows right to us? I think of Sade, it'll blow right to you. If we just allow it to flow and allow it to come right in. So I'm going to ask you to think of a time where you could feel that divine alignment when you were spirit, mind, body simultaneously. It wasn't an out there, in here. It was a simultaneous knowing. Everything was in divine alignment. You were the prayer, the prayer, and the prayer. The spirit, the mind, and then the thing that materialized, the matter. Spirit, mind, body. Body would be considered the matter in that equation. But when we're all lined up like this, there's this magnetic force that is, you can't describe it. We really can't. We do our best to describe it, but you know it when you're in it. And it is us who takes turns being in and out of it. When Rumi said, wake up, don't go back to sleep. That's it. It's the things we do, the God reminding activities that remind us that we are the prayer, the prayer, and the prayer. And when we're all those things, so like a little prayer for us would be, I just get like prayer, 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 spirit, mind, matter. Prayer, 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 spirit, mind, matter. That could bring us back into the consciousness of being in alignment. And then our actions become in participation with being fully present in the moment. We hear Ram Dass, be here now, make me one with everything. That's the punchline to a hot dog joke from a vendor. Being in that flow, that divine flow where we're recognizing that we are in the now, in the flow. I'll give you a little story. I went, and hopefully I was saying earlier, I hope this is one Natalia hasn't even heard. When you're on tour with somebody, we share lots of stories, but this one I think might be new. I hope. I was in high school, and many of you know I was an athlete in high school. I still am, but I played fast pitch softball, and I was the catcher. And there was a particular person who was the catcher on the other team, and she and I had gone to camps together, and so we knew each other quite well. And she was a little bit of an antagonist, in my story, in the story of my life. When we would play, she was very competitive, and I am too, in a sense. But it was just, so our teams are playing, and she notices that our first string third baseman was out of the game. So we had our second string filling in. And so she got on base and stole third base because I wasn't allowed to throw to the third baseman. If you understand this game, you can do these things. You could steal bases in fast pitch softball, just like baseball. So there she is on third base. Long story short here. And every time the pitcher would pitch to the batter, she would take this huge lead off of third base, almost halfway down, which is really far. And she would come off clapping her hands like this. Now think about a story in your own life where somebody was just like egging you on. And I was told not to throw to the third baseman. Do not throw the ball down there, because if she misses it, I was like, oh man, all right. So finally, I'm not I just couldn't take it anymore. And so I called timeout. I walk out to the pitcher's mound, and, the infield comes in, and my pitcher looks at me and she's like, uh-oh, you're going to throw to third base, aren't you? And I said, yes, I am. And the shortstop said, oh, good. So I looked to the third baseman and I said, look, all you need to do is two things. Don't think about anything else. Just when the ball is pitched, just put your glove down on the ground in front of third base. Just put it on the ground. And when the ball hits your glove, squeeze it. That's all I need for you to do. Don't think about anything else. And I had this determination. I knew that I could throw the ball there. I knew that she'd catch it. I was just in this total, when Yogananda says, when you pray, the whole world must shake. It was this knowing that I was going to get this person out and she would be gone. Even though I was told, so I went to Divine Source, even though my coach, who was like the boss of me at that point on this level, I'd surpassed that and went to the other one that I knew was accessible to me. So here comes the play. We break back out, and the coach is wondering what just happened out there. So she's just kind of looking at me like, I think this is going to be another one of these Ferrero moves. And sure enough, the pitcher pitches the ball, and as soon as she gets it to her hip, here comes this runner from third base clapping. And as soon as the ball hit my glove, I just flipped it like this. I didn't even stand up. I just flipped it like that. And the vision was, all I knew was she was going to be out. She turned to dive back to third base, and the ball went under her body into the glove of the third baseman, who caught it and squeezed it, and the runner landed on it, and she's out. All you could see was the ball under her body and then her landing on it, and she was out. Everybody just erupts into joy and thrill, and that was the third out, so they're out. They didn't score. Everybody's very excited, except, Coach, who pulls me over, and she said, "Did I tell you to do that?" It's like, "No, Coach." She goes, "That's what I thought. Go ahead." But then the other coach liked it, so it was like this kind of thing. But the point there was this: couple of things to remember when you're going to supersede the authority of some middle person. It's important to know what your capabilities are. So for me, I'd spent years mastering the skill of throwing that ball like that in my body, working with this form in this lifetime. I spent hours, talk about 10,000 hours, that book. My sister and I used to catch ball in the backyard for hours every day. And then I could hit a dime on a wall with a softball. That's really how skilled I was at that. It's kind of like singing, or the way Anne plays and sings so beautifully. That doesn't happen by accident. You've got a gift for something, but then you've got to put forth the effort to get this body so that when you put your mind to a thing, it happens. But then I put my mind in participation with the larger thing. I had confidence in my connection to spirit, and I don't turn it on and turn it off. I'm always connected, as are you. It's the realization. What causes me to realize it more? My life was a meditation. Meditation helps me to remember this connection. So it's not a separate thing that we pray to or even pray from to. It's a simultaneous experience of spirit, mind, body. And all I saw, so when I talk about the vision, pray until something happens, means become the prayer and make it happen in the now. Praying until something happens means you put the prayer in consciousness of allowing whatever needs to happen in the moment. And sometimes, it was my small self, the one who enjoys playing that game. I wanted to see a certain outcome, and I knew it could happen. And it was right for me to have. Like, why not? Right? And it was fun to be able to just say the thing and have it happen. I didn't see the middle part of the vision. So I took care of the part of getting my body ready to do a certain thing like this, knowing that I had the skill to execute, because I worked at it really hard for many years, for many hours. And then I didn't push, I'm going to throw the ball under her body and she's going to land on it. I didn't push a vision like that. So rather than push a vision, I allowed it to happen the way it was going to happen. All I saw was what I told the third baseman. I told her to put her glove down, and when the ball gets in there, squeeze it. All I saw in my mind was the ball on her glove and this person being out. I didn't know what was going to happen in between. I didn't know how it would happen. I just knew that it would. So think about how confidence in our connection always with source. I know we teach breathing exercises and yoga and meditation for bringing the energy up and down the spine. But an important thing to remember when we're pulling the energy up and down the spine or moving it around like that is that we are open at the top and at the base of the spine. It doesn't stop. We're not a tube that is cut off. We are in continuous flow. Just like I'm breathing and talking, I haven't thought about my breath the whole time I was talking. Some people think I know circular breathing because I talk a lot. Maybe I do. I don't think so. But the key there is I don't think about my breath. I just know that it's there. It's always there. It's always there for you. And if that could be like a little baby realization of just as my breath, the next breath is always there for me and my lungs allow it in. Well, we have healthy lungs. Just as I know with confidence that the breath is always there, I can't see it, but I know it's there. It's the same with spirit. It's inside, it's outside, it's us, it's everything. It's inescapable. And when we have the realization that we are always constantly participating with spirit as form, as thoughts, and lining them up and keeping them on track with that connection, life gets a whole lot more interesting. And rather than pushing a vision, I like to consider it holding the vision. I was holding the vision for some minor thing, like holding the vision of that woman being out, rounding the base on third. I was just holding the vision for the ball in the glove. I didn't need to know anything else. I didn't force it. I didn't insist that it come in a particular way. Just instead of pushing a vision, holding the vision and let it come right to me. Holding the vision and let it come right to me. And then participating with what is in the moment. So in this instance, it was the pitch from the pitcher coming right to me. And then what I needed to do next was what I knew how to do. Turn it over as fast as I could and throw it in the direction of, with a level of skill and accuracy and like focus. This is that single pointed focus. So keeping ourselves not pushing, and prayer is not beggary. I sometimes, it feels like people are begging from some source for this thing. That's not it. But the whole world must shake because we know that we can. This force is a force for good, and it is you. And it is that I pledge allegiance to my heart. And that's such a perfect setup because that's what it is. It's the magnetic force of our hearts that keeps us in the knowing, the divine knowing, the intuition of seeing it all before us at all times. The vision for SoulCall, I had this vision. I can still see holding the vision for what it will be. And as we move forward, life is about experience. What is the meaning of life? It doesn't change. The meaning of life can be found in the experience of life. You're not going to find it in a book. If I tell you my meaning of life, it's not the same as yours. The meaning of life is to experience participating with the triune nature of humanness as we participate with the allness of infinite consciousness, infinite creativity. Life becomes a lot more fun and interesting. Like throwing a ball underneath a human body that's only that far off the ground and getting there first. It's amazing. It's funny. It becomes really fun. Even when it's challenging, there are things to laugh at later. And sometimes it's not so funny, but the simultaneous nature of life will allow you to see the positive and negative when you're balanced at the center. You can look left and you can look right, but you don't fall off in either direction. You can see how all of it comes together and goes together. So God can be realized by the magnetic call of our heart. And it's God's great pleasure to give us the kingdom. That's what it says. So it's because you are it. It has become you. God has become, Goddess has become, Source has become each one of us to play a divine, yes, make me one with everything. There it is. The punchline of a Buddhist joke goes up to the hot dog vendor in New York City, and the hot dog vendor says, "What would you like?" And the Buddhist says, "Make me one with everything." We need to find a drum roll, Natalia. I love working with you with these. So pray until something happens means become aligned as prayer, 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 and spirit, mind, matter. Prayer, 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 spirit, mind, matter. It sounds like Shakespeare, double, double, toil and trouble. I just watched somebody do that the other night. But it's prayer, 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 spirit, mind, matter. We are all these things. We are all these things. So stay awake, stay woke, if you will, to the realization that it's all you. Mother Teresa said it so beautifully when she said, "I am a tiny pencil in the hand of God, writing a love letter to the world." You are a prayer in motion. Prayer pods for God. Last week we were, God pods. Now we could be prayer pods for God. Just be a walking prayer wherever you go. Wherever you go. And if with that mindset, it's really challenging. The challenge will become falling off. It'll be hard to get distracted when in your mind you're like prayer, 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 spirit, mind, matter. When you're walking with that kind of presence through the world, it's difficult to get caught up in things that are not like love and joy. It's much easier to stay centered and focused. So praying until something happens is allowing the vision to come to us, allow it to come to us as it will, and to participate with whatever skills we have perfected and refined, with our thinking. Only one thought. Our thought can rest and idle on the infinite, whatever you call it, in the background of your mind, if there's nothing else going on but the infinite. It's a beautiful way to be, because it'll pull forth from you things to bring through as a prayer that you offer as yourself to the world. So it is my great joy to bring back Ann Heaton with another song about alchemy. Beautiful Ann. I'm so glad you could join us this morning.
Oh, that was such a beautiful talk. I feel my body is like buzzing.
Oh, good.
My body is like, that was truth.
Thank you. You sing truth. Your songs are so perfect for today. Thank you for setting us up so beautifully. And this next song you're going to offer is called
The Alchemist.
The Alchemist. Perfect.
Yeah, cool. You have been fighting it with medicine. You have been fighting it by talking to a friend. You have been fighting it by not fighting it and surrendering. Make me a ruby, hold me up to the sun, melt me into one redness, and I won't be depressed now that I'm the alchemist. I'm the alchemist. I'm the alchemist. I'm the alchemist. I have been fighting it too with caffeine. I have been fighting it too with my lover's hands all over me. I look to my eccentricities to deliver me. Make me a ruby, hold me up to the sun, melt me into one. Make me a ruby, hold me up to the sun, melt me into one redness, and I won't be depressed now that I'm the alchemist. I'm the alchemist. I'm the alchemist. I'm the alchemist. I'm riding in a wagon, laughing into the sunset. I'm laughing in a wagon, riding through the darkness. Now that I'm the alchemist, I'm the alchemist, I'm the alchemist, I'm the alchemist. We're the alchemists, we're the alchemists, we're the alchemists. I'm the alchemist. Make me a ruby, hold me up to the sun.
Woohoo! I love it. So beautiful. That song is amazing. And it so perfectly segues us right into a wonderful opportunity. We're so honored to have you offer through SoulCall, the songwriter workshop. It's more about the alchemy of, from sorrow to silver linings? Yes, sorrow to silver linings, coming up this Wednesday, February 10th, 7 p.m. Eastern. Tell us a little bit about the alchemy of that and what you're.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be giving this workshop. One of the things that I'm going to share is a way you can easily turn your journaling or free writing into song, a way of pulling out ideas and words that's simple and fun. And then another thing we're going to do is I'm going to share a way of coming up with melodies for your words. Sometimes people will say, "Well, I know what the lyrics are. I know what the words I want to say, but I don't know." So I'm going to share one way of doing that that's very playful, and yeah, and we're gonna reflect on some of the sorrows and silver linings of the last 10, 11 months
Yeah.
during this time, and kind of, just have the opportunity to artistically process that and share a little bit. So, yeah, really looking forward to it.
It's gonna be a powerful time, and it's free. It's donation based, so you can get the link to join. Everybody is welcome. We don't have members and non-members. Everyone who hears this, sees this, share it as widely as you possibly can with everyone, because it's going to be an amazing experience. This Wednesday, the 10th at 7 p.m. And you can click. Yeah, you have to go to soulcallministries.org website and click on the link to receive the link to the Zoom, so that you can get into the Zoom room this Wednesday with amazing Anne.
Cool, and there's no experience necessary. Just come as you are, and who you are.
I love it. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you for being with us this morning. And now we're going to welcome.
Thank you.
We've got yesterday. The Soul Squad was busy and in full force right here in Columbus, Ohio. We were down on High Street at the Juice and Company. I want to give a shout out to Elia and Tara from Juice Company. We were getting ready for our great Valentine's Day food drive. There we are setting up. And we invited some of the people from the Soul Squad to come in this morning so you can meet them. If you're noticing some of the swag, let me show you this. Our new website is our store is coming pretty soon, like maybe in, I don't know, I don't want to say too soon, within like the next 2 weeks. You could buy this beautiful stuff online. We've got bags, purple, and and masks. The masks come shrink wrapped like this, and all this stuff is going to be available. But our food drive, we thank you for your donations, because this is what we're doing with them. Are you guys all ready to come in? There's Pam and Jasmine. Yay! And Mama Soul Squad. Oh, Mama. Candy. Care couldn't make it this morning. Can't hear you guys, but there's Joy. Now, Joy is joining us from Livermore, California. She's our squad pod out in California. Yeah. So, Michelle, tell us what you've got going on over there. Show us what you're putting together.
As you said, we have some fabulous logo wear that we are going to next Sunday. We're actually filling these bags. We have these bags filled with lots of love and food and all kinds of fun stuff in here. So we're going to be out there next Sunday, sharing the love, feeling the love. You can see us. We're fun. We're fun.
So we're going to be live sharing these gift bags that are filled with food for people who are experiencing food insecurity, of whom there are many. If you want to get involved in your area, I know we got some friends in Pittsburgh, California, wherever you are. If you feel so inclined to put a pot of people together to collect food or to purchase food, like we're doing with the funds that we have, people are donating all week long, from Monday through Friday, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on location at 4493 High Street and Juice and Company. You can go to that location and bring non-perishable items. You can bring pet food as well. We're accepting that. If you've got vegan things you'd like to donate for vegans who need to eat too. It's not all, it's just like people that don't just eat tuna and everything else who have lost their jobs or struggling right now. Whatever it is you would like to donate, we would love to take it. Again, it's Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., the High Street location of Zen Juice and Company. And if you know someone who is experiencing a food insecurity in the Columbus area and in any of the other areas you know of, let us know, and we'll make sure we find a way well, actually, what they can do is come and pick up the food on Valentine's Day. Next Sunday, we are going to be there again on location with these bags packed, filled with food, and offering them to people who come in need of sustenance. So it's been a real amazing treat to put these things together, things people are going to need. And it's fun to work with the Soul Squad. And you make it all happen with your donations. I want you to know that most of the donations that you send in, more than 90% of what we get in terms of donations gets turned around and put back in the community in some form or another. So it either enables us to do classes or things like that. So it's not going to admin and all that kind of stuff. It goes right back into the community. So thank you for your donations. No amount is too big or too small. You can go to SoulCall Ministries/donate by check, Venmo, PayPal. And also people are, and we're grateful that we have some folks who are donating their stimulus checks who aren't in need of that extra money, but are helping in their areas to get that donation to the people who really do need a little extra help. So thank you. Just know that we are taking really good care of the funds we receive and turning it around in the form of love and help. So we've got little Pam and baby Jasmine and Candy. Anybody want to add anything, folks? Joy, we can't see you, friend, but we know
Jasmine's having a wonderful time. She just wants to see everybody and touch everybody. So
hi, Jasmine.
she says, I'm really looking forward to next Sunday, actually seeing real people in person.
These are little. She's got a little pod for John. That's our little cutie, our little resident mascot. Thank you all for joining us this morning, and we'll see you next week. And all week we'll be donating and collecting food. So remember that. Also coming up at the end of the month, is it Sunday, the 21st at 11 o'clock? We've got another fabulous musician who's part of our youth and family team at SoulCall, who's offering preschool and toddler sing-alongs. Amber Darling is going to be joining us. Little Sapling Music is her company. And you can join us right after the talk on Sunday, February 21st. There'll be a Zoom room. It'll be live streamed, and you could register with the Zoom link on the website, soulcallministries.org, under events and classes. And also today, we're starting a brand new thing. Our global community, we like to meet you and see you, and you want to meet each other. It's your opportunity to connect. At 11 o'clock today, if you go to our website, soulcallministries.org, on the homepage, there's a link you can click to come into a Zoom room and say hello. And also, it's the SoulCall Sunday Rewind on Tuesday. We're going to keep that one going too at 6 p.m. And that link is in the newsletter. We invite you to sign up for the newsletter. There are so many fun things and deep things. We've got recipes in there, recipes for prayer, some videos, and inspirational things that people are doing all over the world. And we're going to invite you, if there's somebody in your area who's doing something really incredible that seems so simple to them but really makes a big difference, we're going to start a new segment in our newsletter called SoulCall Shout Out. And we want to hear from you. We want to know who those heroes are and sheroes in your world who make where you live come to life, how they're bringing their soul call to passion and to light in the area that you live in. So you could send that to info@soulcallministries.org or find us on the contact page on our website. So, so today at 11 o'clock, join me in the Zoom room. Go to the website, click on the link. You'll get a registration, and then they'll give you the link to come in and say hi. And Natalia, what else? Next week, Reverend Christy Hardwick will be delivering the message while I will be out with the Soul Squad on location, handing out bags of food. And those food bags will be available from 9:30 to 2 p.m. next Sunday, Valentine's Day. I think that's it. We thank you once again for joining us. Walk the Talk Tuesday, yeah. We thank you once again for joining us. And the other one is prayers. If you're in need of prayer, prayers at soulcallministries.org. Or you can find the prayer link on our website. So we thank you once again for joining us for SoulCall Sunday. And remember, wherever you are on the planet, You are loved. Peace and blessings.